Yeah, I just got back from uptown, and man, it's a rat race up there. Everybody Christmas shopping and that, getting ready for Christmas. Walmart's packed up there. Yeah, went around this morning and did our little runarounds, but I got a good video for you today. It's from last week. I'm going to share a story with you, and it's kind of funny in a way, and then it's kind of scary too at the same time because it involves spending money. We're going to talk about a dishwasher. We just bought a dishwasher, and I'm going to tell you something a little funny about that happened to us. And I'm going to take you around and show you what all happened here. So I'm going to turn this thing around here, give you a little more perspective on what we're talking about. Okay, this is our Bosch dishwasher that we bought about 6 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, somewhere around there. And we had a little problem with this. It's kind of funny because down there on the floor, right in that corner between the stove and the dishwasher, there's a puddle one morning. Woke up. And I says, "Oh no, don't tell me." I says, "I'll bet you we got some kind of water break." And I said, I just did a video on that. We just got all our pipes done, and now we got water problems inside the house. So I didn't know what to do. So I called the manager for the park and told him what I had. I had a puddle next to the stove and the dishwasher. And I asked him, I says, "Could we possibly have a break or something?" He says, "Well, it looks like to me it's got to be coming out of your dishwasher." So he says, "Go underneath the sink and there should be a valve." And he said, "Just turn it off." And I can't get out there right now. And this is a Saturday, we're talking. He said, "But I can make it out there by Tuesday next week. Take a look at it." So I went underneath the sink over here, opened it up. There's a valve in there, sure enough. I closed it off, and hopefully that took care of the problem. So then I sat down on the couch and thought about it for a while, and I got thinking. I says, we're going to have to probably pay a big fortune for him to come out here and look at that. I wonder if I can just slide that out by myself and see if it is the dishwasher. Thought common sense, Now we had paid a contractor to put this in that builds homes. And they don't really install dishwashers that much, but I'm sure that they could, with building homes and stuff like that, I would think that they know how to install a dishwasher with no problem. This particular one was missing a drain because in the early years when we bought the mobile home, we thought it'd be smart to put a new sink in. So the sink was pretty bad when we moved in. You can see we put a new one in. It's a real nice sink. And it was kind of hard to put in because we couldn't find one to fit. Those mobile homes are a little tricky. So I ended up cutting out the back a little bit, about 1/4 inch off, or maybe about 1/2 inch, to get this sink to fit. Well, when I did that, I took the garbage disposal out. I figured we don't use the dishwasher. At that time, we never used dishwasher. I didn't even know how the dishwasher was hooked up. But anyways, took the garbage disposal out and they cut the lines and disconnected electric and everything, and it was gone, done. Put the new sink in, got that all installed, and we're up and running. Took me about 2 days to get the sink in because I'm not all that great at doing that kind of work, and it wasn't that long ago, and that's when I had a lot of back issues. So you can see, you know, you gotta go and you gotta climb down on the bottom down here, and you gotta climb through those doors and laying on your back and it's digging in your back, everything else. But I'm not trying to sound like a complainer, but that's just the way it is. But anyways, it took 2 days to do that. So now you got rid of the garbage disposal. But guess what? By doing that, I took out the drain for the dishwasher that used to be here. And I never knew it. So then now, my wife and I are getting up in age, and we decided that it's time to get a brand new dishwasher. So we get a brand new dishwasher, and the first thing we run into is the manager from the park says that you don't have a drain, or I'm going to have to put a drain in. It's going to run you about $200 to put a drain in. So I said, no, I didn't really say that to him, but I thought, no, that's a lot of money just for the drain. So I called up Lowe's, that's where we first had our first dishwasher ordered, and they told us the bill would be $90 to install the dishwasher. And they were supposed to deliver it on a certain given date, and we never got a call or anything. And I called them up and asked them what's going on, and they says, oh, we forgot to ship it, so it'll be another 2 weeks. I says, I'll tell you what, I says, don't worry about it. I says, I'm going to come in and then you're going to give me a refund. I don't want it anymore. So that's what I did. And then we went to Best Buy and bought this one. And we got apples for apples, and it was a lot cheaper. And they said they'd do it for $150 to install it. Well, $150 was still a lot for a 20-minute job, I thought. So what I did is I gave some thought and decided to hire somebody to put it in that I knew as a friend. Well, they came out and they put it in, and it took them about 3 hours or so because they had to constantly go back to the stores, you know, like Lowe's, pick up certain fittings, because in these mobile homes, a lot of the stuff is like metric, you might say, and it's not the same as a regular house. So they had to make a lot of trips, and they had to figure out how to put the drain in. First of all, they're going to drill a hole in the drain, and then put a hose into the drain, and then seal it with like a silicone. I didn't like that idea at all. But the right-hand man with the crew was able to find the correct stuff at Lowe's to put it in the main drain. So I was very happy that that was done. But the problem is that the point I'm trying to get at, I know I'm making a long story out of this, the water that was sitting down there ended up being a problem from having installers that really didn't know what they're doing. I mean, they knew what they're doing, but the drain or the filler that was on the dishwasher was, well, let me go back. First of all, I got an idea to pull the dishwasher out by myself. All it is two little screws They're up on the top. You take the 2 screws out, and then you pull the dishwasher out. Well, as soon as I pulled it out, I knew that it was a dishwasher problem. That's where the water was coming from. And the water was turned off, like the manager of the park told me to do. And then, when I pulled it out, I turned the water back on. And when I turned the water back on, the water was spraying really bad out of the filler that goes to the dishwasher. So I knew right away, well, that's not a problem at all. I'll just take and I'll tighten it up and put it back in. The only problem is you can't get it tight by putting your hand down in there and tightening it up by hand. What you have to do is you have to tip the dishwasher forward, and the electricity to the dishwasher is all hooked up, and I would have to know what I'm doing to unhook it, and I didn't know what I was doing, and that's why the story's kind of funny. What I did is pulled it out, and I carefully laid it down, all the way down on the handle, real carefully to the floor. And then I was able to get at the fitting and tighten it up really tight. You know, not to the point where you break it, but, you know, nice and tight. And then I turned the water on, nothing was leaking. Perfect. So I set it back up, put it back in the hole, tightened all the screws up, and I says to the wife, I got it fixed, it don't leak anymore. Good to go. Well, come to find out, when she went to try it, she couldn't get anything to work. There was a Air 15, E15 on this display panel. And that's right down there, if you can see it, that little square box. With that there, with the E15, I didn't know what it meant. I figured it was an error. And let me put this camera down for a minute. Okay, now I'm sitting, it's getting kind of heavy holding that one spot. I got a gimbal I talked about in my last video. Got about 7 pounds in my hand there. Anyways, we had an E15 for a code on there, and I had no idea what E15 meant. So I says the first thing I need to do is get a hold of Bosch, which I figure that's going to be hard to do. So I just went on the computer and asked for Bosch technical support phone number. And it came up right away, beautiful, had the number. So I calls the number and talked to them, and they says that the E15, they would not have any clue what that means unless they had a technical or technician that they could talk to immediately, and they did not have that while I was on the phone, and they had no way of getting me to one. So she gave me some kind of an idea. It had to do with an overflow of water somewhere in the system. She had some kind of an idea at least. And I said, well, that could be. Maybe I screwed something up by tipping it over, and because it did work before I tipped it over. So it was my fault. I'll take the blame for that. But anyway, she says, you got 1-year warranty on it. So she says, I'll get a hold of, first of all, she says, what's your zip code? And I told her. And then it took a few minutes, and she says, well, I got somebody that can take care of you. Lyle's TV. Lyle's TV. So I calls Lyle's TV up, figure I had it all made, because I know the guy. You know, we used to do business with him. And he says, I don't know why Bosch sends all these people over to us all the time. We're not on the list. We shouldn't be on the list anymore. We do not take care of warranties that we don't sell. We don't do warranty work. obviously the reason a lot of them don't do warranty work because it takes forever to get paid. That's probably the good reason why they're not doing it. So it took me a good hour and a half to finally get all the stuff. By the time you waited on the phone to get somebody on the line from Bosch, and everything, and they gave you the number finally for Lyle's TV, that was in about an hour and a half. So then after that, finds out, they don't take care of it. So I says, what would you do? And he says, well, I would call Best Buy. They should take care of you. So I calls Best Buy. And he says, well, we can't service it because you're over the 30-day or over the 15-day warranty for us, and you didn't buy the extended warranty. And I felt that it wasn't necessary to buy the extended warranty because they are pretty expensive. And but I had a year, factory warranty. So I says, well, what should I do? If I were you, I'd call Bosch. I says, I just did, and they gave me Lyle's TV, and it's wrong. Well, I'd call them back and tell them that. So I did, and now we're back to waiting on the phone again for, who knows, I don't know, it could be 20 minutes, 40 minutes, I can't remember. But I ended up waiting, and I got them back in the line again. And this time I got a guy that was a different guy, and I told him the situation about why did they give me Lyle's TV when they don't take care of it. And he says, yeah, you're right. He says, I don't understand why they're on there. He says, Accurate is the one that takes care of that, and they're out of, I believe, New Berlin. And I remember the lady before when I talked to Bosch, she mentioned Accurate, and I says, that's too far away. And then she said, well, we got Lyle's TV. And I said, well, Lyle's TV would be fine. That's the one I turns out, turns out, what's funny about it is that Lyle's TV don't do it, and Accurate's the right one. So I would have had the right guy if it would have been Accurate. So now this new guy that I'm talking to on the phone, he says, I'll give you the number for Accurate, and you just tell them what you got for a problem and set up an appointment, and they'll come out and they'll take care of it. So that's what I did, and they're very nice people. They set up an appointment to come out. It was like a 4-day wait, and they said they'll have a window between 10 in the morning till 2 in the afternoon, and he was here by 11 o'clock. And he called me the night before. They called me electronically the night before to be waiting by my phone the next morning because the guy will be on his way, and if you don't answer the phone, they'll go to the next customer. So I made sure that I was there and waited for the phone call, and the phone call came in right around 11 o'clock. Guy said he's 15 minutes away and he'll be arriving. So he arrived, and he pulled the dishwasher out, and he found out that there was a leak on the drain that I didn't catch when I pulled it out myself. So he tightened that up, and he says also your filler was not tight enough. He says, so I tightened that up for you. And then he said that the code, the E15, is related to the float that's inside of the dishwasher. Now, I will show you what that looks like so you guys all know. So if you guys ever have a problem with this, it's going to save you a lot of headaches. So let me turn this camera around, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. I'll pull this out. You can see that back in the back there, that round cylinder device back there, that's your float. And what that had done when I tipped it upside down is it stuck straight up, and it would not go back down when I set the dishwasher back on its feet. It was stuck up. And when it was stuck up in the up position, that gave me a code of an error 15. So all you had to do is go in there and tap it down by your fingers, and it would have took care of the problem. So that is my story, and it's very dumb on my part for tipping it over. And I kind of figured that if I tipped it over, something's going to happen while the electric's on. But it turned out for the good. Everything turned out great. And it's back up and running. So, for what I've explained to you now, it was really quite a deal that was scary for me, because I figured that I'm going to get in trouble for what I've done, and they'd void the warranty and everything. And the guy says, that's no problem, don't worry about it. He says, that's what we're here for. He says, no big deal, you didn't wreck nothing, just had a stuck float, that's all you had. Hopefully it doesn't do that again by itself. And we shook hands, he's on his way. And the good part about it is that the guy was so nice, and we had a little discussion that we're trying to do an addition on our home here on the side, and we can't seem to find any contractors out there that want to give us a bid. We called many people, and they tell you they're going to show up, and they don't. Well, this guy here said that he was up there in that New Berlin area, I guess, and he's got a farm, and he hired an Amish group that is very reasonable, and they do really fast work. And he had them do many thousands of dollars on the farm there. And he told me all about how good a work they did, and they bring like 8 guys out, and he says they sing hymns while they're working and everything else. Are really excellent people, and they just have a lot of fun, and they get a lot done in one day. So I asked him if he would get me the address so I could write a letter to them, because they don't have phones and that, so it's all word of mouth. So he took my email down, and then he's going to shoot me an email back with their address so I can contact them somehow. And that's what we plan on doing. So as far as I'm concerned, that day last week went terrific. I mean, I thought we were going to have a disaster and pay a bunch of money, and it just turned out great. I never dreamed that it would have been that easy. You know, it started out, I thought maybe we had a water break, and it turned out to be the dishwasher. But folks, do me a favor, hit that like button, and I'm going to be signing off here real shortly. And subscribe if you're brand new to me. Appreciate that. I can use the subscribers. Make some comments. I got to apologize that I didn't have any trips planned this week. We had some bad weather Monday and Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. I usually film on Mondays, and possibly Tuesday, but it went all the way to Wednesday today. So I thought I'd throw this one in there. It's a experience that is a good learning experience. So I thought I'd pass it on to you guys in case something like this would happen to you. Now, I imagine there's a lot of you that would probably never tip a dishwasher upside down, especially a brand new one with the electric still on. But I did. And I figured it wouldn't harm anything, and it just turned into a disaster, I thought, at the beginning. But it all turned out good. So I'm going to go, and you guys all have a blessed day, and I hope next week we got some good weather and we can get out and do something spectacular and bring you a really good video. So I call this a fill-in video, and it's a learning video at the same time. So pass it on to your friends on Facebook if you got any social media. I appreciate that. Helps my channel also. And don't be afraid to give me some comments. I'd like to hear what you got to say. I know I'm stupid for what I did, you know, but I don't know. It's when you got a water problem, you kind of panic, I guess. So anyways, we'll see you guys next video. You have a good day. We'll see you. Bye.